Hey you guys, okay, so I just wanted to show you that I'm going to be making some pizza dough. This makes basically 4 large pizzas. I think I have a 16-inch pizza pan in my bowl. I have 3 cups of water, 8 tablespoons of honey, which is also half a cup. I have 8 tablespoons of olive oil, which is also half a cup. And I have about a tablespoon and a half of yeast. My water was warm, and I let the yeast sit here and get all bubbly and activate. So now I'm going to start adding in my flour. This is a wheat pizza dough. I've tried many different white pizza doughs, trying to find one that I actually like, and I just don't. I don't know what it is. Either they're tasteless or I don't know. I just don't particularly care for them. So this is the one that I like the best. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab my flour. I'm going to be putting in 4 cups of white all-purpose flour and 3 cups of wheat flour into my KitchenAid mixer, and then we'll start adding spices and then get it on the mixer. Okay, so wheat flour. One, two, try to get the last little bit out of this bag. Okay, so I'm going to go get this put on my KitchenAid mixer and let it start mixing. And then I'm going to start adding in garlic powder, onion powder, and Italian seasoning. Okay, so I've got the dough hook on. I don't ever use the paddle when I make breads. I just use the dough hook. I don't want to dirty more than I have to. There we go. Let's illuminate the situation. And we'll put in a good bit of Italian seasoning. This is just a touch of onion powder. I don't really measure this, and it honestly probably isn't completely necessary, but I like the dough to have as much flavor as possible. And I have garlic powder. And you can use this to make breadsticks, calzones, pizzas. And like I said, this makes 4 large pizzas. So what I do is I freeze it. But I will show you guys that here. And I may end up needing to add more flour. We just kind of watch it and kind of judge from there. But I'm just going to let this keep mixing. And once I see if it needs more flour or if it needs a little bit more liquid, I'll kind of adjust as we go. But I'm still waiting to see if it'll all incorporate and pull away from the bowl. So I'll bring it all back in just a few minutes once everything's together. So this right here is exactly what I want to see. I want to see it start to come away from the sides of the bowl. And so it's beginning to pick up everything on the sides. And so we're well on our way. Once it's pretty much relatively cleaned the bowl, then it will be good for me to set my timer. I'm just adding in just a couple of more sprinkles of flour just to help it along. I've added maybe 1/4 of a cup, but every time you make any type of bread, it varies from one time to the next if you're going to have to add anything. But I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and I'll bring y'all back. Okay, I wish I could tell you how good this smells. And it's not sticky, it's not sticking to my fingers. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from the bowl. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil in, toss the dough back in with the oil, and then I'm going to put a clean dish towel over the top, and I'm going to let it rise for about 1.5 hours, and then I will come back, punch it down, and divide it out into 4, and I will put them in freezer bags. Whenever I am ready to make a pizza, I pull the pizza dough out, and I put it in the fridge to let it thaw, or you can, if you're in a hurry, let it thaw at room temperature. Then you go ahead and roll it out into your pizza pan or cast iron skillet works, and I let it rise again for another 10 to 15 minutes. I let it rise for about 10 to 15 minutes in the pan, and I must tell you, okay, I love the way that dough feels. It's one of my favorites. So one of my favorite feels. But so I'm going to go ahead and get this oiled and get it resting. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so here is my dough after it has risen. It probably hasn't even been 1.5 hours because I didn't keep track of the clock, but I looked over and I saw that it was starting to rise and up and out of my bowl. It was lifting the tea towel. So I'm going to go ahead and mash this down. Okay, so now I will just divide it into 4. I'm actually going to be a little OCD about it, and I'm actually going to pull out my scale, weigh the dough, and then divide it by 4. So I will be right back. Oops. Okay, so I apologize for my dishwasher running, but here are my dough balls. I am going to make a pizza. So here are my dough balls. They actually ended up being 580 grams this time. They're all fairly close, within a gram or two of 580. So I'm okay with that. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in freezer bags and get them in the freezer. And this one I'm going to roll out. So I will see you guys soon.